This is what happened live on Shroud stream for RedZone. This is absolutely unbelievable. This can be happening.
4 years.
Game, yeah, the
Fate Trigger.
In Fate Trigger, yeah. What's up with Battle
Fire
Royales
game.
and bugging at the very end?
If you don't know, guys, there's 2 teams left.
So we got second place after all that? We don't even
And
win?
literally the game's bugged. There's nobody else in the game. There's just them 4 who's playing. And they can't even win, guys. It's the first game Shroud and his mates have played.
9. Are those downs?
And yeah, guys, they can't even win because the game bugs.
If you get it down, I think it counts. I don't want to die. I'm not gonna lie.
Help me. I don't want to die.
37,000. Is it 37 or 27?
It's over. We're just second
37,000 people watching this.
Shoot the fire.
RedZone gameplay, which again, guys, 2004 wants its graphics back. 720p, guys. The game looks terrible. It might be fun, guys, don't get me wrong, but the game...
If you guys don't understand what happened, is basically live on stream, 30,000 people watching, and there was no winner. Why? Because the game is absolutely broken and bugged. It was rushed in the release to make more money for Battlefield 6, and unfortunately that's the truth. But I do feel like there is a big problem, and there's a lot of changes that needs to be done for RedZone if it ever wants to compete with Warzone. And trust me, I love Battlefield 6, even though I'm very, very harsh on it. It's because I have some sort of a tough love with the game. But Shroud here is very disappointed. He was expecting a win. There's 2 teams left, and suddenly they cannot win. Why? For the legit reason that there's just not going to be a winner because the game is bugged. And that's, 30,000 people watching. So that's potentially 30,000 people that just saw that the game is completely broken.
Which again, guys, 2004 wants its graphics back. 720p, guys. The game looks terrible. It might be fun, guys, don't get me wrong, but the game looks fucking terrible. And are you like me, guys? Are you just sick to death of, like, sweaty, like, streamer-esque YouTube sweat Battle Royale games? Like, just fuck off Battle Royale. Nobody wants Battle Royale anymore, unless you're a Twitch streamer who plays video games 10 hours a fucking day, or you're a YouTube content creator who does pretty much the same. Look, they come second place, guys.
Battlefield 6 RedZone is an absolute disaster in my opinion. I played about 2 or 3 games and all of the pro players are already in there. The tanks are dominating the meta and snipers are 2 shots basically. This is a very big problem as the weapons, little sniper rifles, can get you from a long distance. When 2 players zoom in, bam, you're done, right? And I have been seeing this, a lot of these launches being a disaster, but this is an absolute piece of cake. I am severely disappointed with how this was handled, and I'm hoping there's going to be a massive change, speaking from my heart. If you guys didn't understand, a lot of players were saying that the tanks were going to be a huge problem, and this is why Warzone is dominating right now. It keeps the player games simple and fun. It doesn't have, need all these balancing. All true, they did add a lot of anti-tank weapons across the map, including anti-tank kits. This doesn't matter though, as the tanks are still overpowered and can literally one-shot you, especially if you're riding a vehicle. I feel like that adding, such strong vehicles was an absolute disaster in my opinion. While it does make the game different and more fun, it's not something that should be added in a game that's even aiming to be on a Also, you can respawn just like in Warzone Resurgence, where you drop after you die, after you get instantly killed, but there's no point really because all the weapons you are looting are useless anyway against, someone having literal god tier weapons and has all the destruction they need or just shoots you from a tank. At least that's the game I experienced. Maybe I'm really bad at the game, maybe I haven't played enough, but again, this is 1 hour after release when the game should be the most fresh it is. The issue with Warzone is I totally understand it. People have been playing with for 5 years and that's why they're really good at the game. But for RedZone to release, and all of the people are pro players already, that's because there's no SBMM. And this, I have been very, very vocal that there are major issues that Battlefield 6 needs to fix. Battlefield 6 needs to focus on multiplayer, but it seems like RedZone wants to be their money maker basically so they can compete against Call of Duty. They're very, very far away from this if they have these type of content updates where, basically a new map, a reskin, they add some stuff onto the map like crates and just hopefully people will buy the battle pass, and they will forget about multiplayer.
When Fortnite first came out with it years ago, PUBG, Warzone, more recently, I think it was kind of fun for a short time. But I think now we're seeing a vast decline in the amount of people playing, the Battle Royale game, even Warzone. Obviously, people can come back to me right now and say, yeah, that's because Warzone's terrible now. And I think that could be partly the case. But from what I've seen when it comes to looking at this RedSec gameplay, guys, the maps look as bland, if not worse, than Warzone. The gameplay looks pretty generic. There's nothing really what changes. Ooh, you've got...
Unfortunately, there's nothing new that RedSec really adds. The player count will start dwindling because Battlefield 6 is something that, you know, you combine people together and play the game. But RedSec does nothing new other than destruction and adding tanks and vehicles, which is something that Fortnite has been doing for years, by the way, adding vehicles and other things. But first of all, this is a big problem. Battlefield 6 cost $400 million to make. They made about $220 million from sales alone on Steam, if I remember correctly, first week, which is awesome. But they still have another, what, $100 million to get from it. So I'm really, really worried where they're going to get this money because RedSec doesn't seem like the revenue maker at this point. RedSec needs tons of changes to be fun. It is not fun when someone kills me instantly with 2 snipers in 1 second. When Battlefield 6 is made on teamwork, having friendships, having tons of fun, well, that's where it was taken away because all of this fun factor was taken away. All the charm. I feel like the developers, you know, really put the game for the sake of it. I understand they had a creator portal, they had a lot of work. I'm not blaming the creators here because I can see they put effort into the game, but it just feels soulless. It feels like, yes, let's push it out. It needs more work, in my opinion, and the tanks are way overpowered in the game. And I know what the developers were thinking. Hey, we're going to add, you know, all these anti-tank stuff, anti-vehicle stuff. It's awesome, right? You have proximity mines, which most of the time the map is so big that it doesn't matter if you have anti-tank vehicles because they're not going to work. The map is too big for them to activate. So what's the point here? And I feel like people are going to start to realize this soon after the hour. There's some game-breaking bugs they can fix. I understand it's first day of launch. There's going to be a hot patch probably, but just some balancing changes are much, much needed. And I feel like even a month extra for this game would do it a lot of favors. The issue is they're fighting against the release of Call of Duty Black Ops 7, which is coming under a month. It's coming in 16 days, and that's going to take a big majority player chunk of players right now.
I don't care what anybody's going to say in the comment section saying, oh, Battlefield 6 is better than, you know, Battlefield 2042. Go and play Battlefield 2042 now and tell me there's a vast difference between the quality of the gameplay between Battlefield 6 and Battlefield 2042. So anyway, they build on it year after year, but they've had 4 years, guys, to make Battlefield 6. And then they've had 4 years as well to make the Battle Royale mode, which this... Again, looking at the graphics and
a shadow drop, but I don't want this to be hype just because of it being a surprise shadow drop. I want it to be hype because it's actually fucking good. And to start closing this video, guys, we have another tweet about Battlefield 6 and the marketing for RedSec, and it comes out from Doug Dimmadome Warzone. And no, I'm not gonna meme him again because I think it's getting played out, honestly. Simply not be a good look whatsoever. Now, guys, in closing, I want the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale to succeed, but at the same time, I don't want it to succeed so goddamn much that EA takes it upon themselves as a greedy corporation to start prioritizing that game experience over the multiplayer for Battlefield 6. They talk a lot about data, but as we've seen in the data ourselves, there's a lot of implications and suggestions here with a free-to-play Battle Royale that point towards the multiplayer experience as a paid...
Very fair point. It just needs work. It needs some love and attention. And I feel like a lot of this love and attention will end up going from Battlefield 6, which doesn't have a lot of content anyway. I'm surprised how little content there is. And when you compare Battlefield 6 content update for Season 1 and Call of Duty update for Season 1, which is the biggest yet, Call of Duty seems to be winning the battle again. A lot of players are starting to love it again. Even though there's a lot of cheaters in Warzone, at least they had 5 years to work on some things to make it rewarding to play the game. I found the game very slow and clunky. Again, I do see the love that the developers put in it. I see the idea, but there's too much on the table. Like, there's too little budget for Battlefield 6, which 400 million might seem like a lot, but again, you know, a game like GTA 6 needed 2 billion. For 3 different games, it's spread out. So basically we have Warzone, Battle Royale type of game. We have Portal Creator Mode, and then we have the multiplayer. You know, all of these mixed together, there just isn't enough developers to work on all of these, and some of them are gonna take the hit. So I'm really hoping RedSec does change it around, because RedSec deserves a better launch, but it's been 7 years since the first Battle Royale games, and I feel like they got in a very competitive niche. Even extraction games, you know, they're much smaller, but the thing with extraction games, at least they're super popular now and still under-tapped like Arc Raiders. That is something they could have done that would be much better than Battle Royale. They could have done both, to be honest. They have the assets, they have the team, but something went wrong here, guys. What do you guys think about the new Battle Royale game? Maybe I'm being too harsh on it, but that's just my opinion for now.